In this video, we are going to show you how to prepare as well as how to drive when there's snow and ice on the roads. So in this video, we are going to be using two cars to show you how to drive in winter weather. A front-wheel drive Mini Cooper and a rear-wheel drive Porsche Cayman. The next time that it snows, that you are comfortable to get in your car and get to where you need to go, and possibly even excited to do it. If you haven't yet, please make sure to like and subscribe, as it really helps us out. My name is Ethan, and welcome to Car Creations. Once you plot a path for your cars to get out, you have to sweep them off. Now, you should be using a nice, soft brush. Using a broom like this, while a lot more effective, isn't going to be the nicest to the paint. Make sure you find the proper tools and make sure you have that ready. However, if you're like me and the snowstorm catches you unawares, don't drive with a ton of snow on your car because it's dangerous for you and other people on the roads. Now it's time to drive your car, and this is where it gets controversial. Some people say to let your car warm up for a little bit. Other people say that basically the oil isn't going to be going around the engine because the car isn't moving, and you're going to be running the cold engine with no oil. What I do is right in the middle. I turn on the car and I immediately start driving with it, but I take it very slowly and I don't gun the engine. I keep it in low RPMs. All right, so first things first, we are going to take the front wheel drive Mini out and we're going to show you best practices while on the road. Okay, so just basic driving tips for really any car. Torque is kind of your enemy here. If you hit the gas and suddenly your wheels just break free and start spinning, you really do not want that. If your car has it, bump it over to green mode, as the car will kind of dampen your throttle response a little bit and it'll stop you from hitting the gas pedal too sharply, basically help you with your traction issues. Before you set off when it's snowy, make sure you check your battery, fluid levels, as well as your tires and fuel, because the last thing you want to do is run out of fuel while you're driving in winter weather. And I'm at 9 miles to empty, so I'm headed straight to a gas station. So in my personal kit, in my car, I have a blanket, I have a snow shovel, I have a tow hook, I have a winter traction kit, as well as a bunch of other things. And with that, I can be pretty prepared that if for some reason something happens in the middle of winter, I'll be okay. So the next tip is ABS. So back in the old days, if you started slipping out, you'd have to pump the brakes. And that would basically help the car get traction as you're, sliding into a snowbank. Nowadays, you have ABS, which automatically does that. So if you feel yourself start to slip and you just stop, push your brake pedal firmly to the ground, pedal to the metal, hold it there until you come to a complete stop. Do not lift up, it'll turn off the ABS feature and you will be in trouble. So driving on the highway. So the road's pretty good right now. It's a little bit slushy, which isn't good for a small car like this because you can jump in between the slush lines on the road. However, this is the perfect place to talk about what to do on the highway. First things first, don't go too fast. Even the best drivers will go off the road when it starts to get really snowy. Ice can come out of nowhere and take you directly off the road, and no matter if you have a big 4x4 truck or driving a little Fiat 500, it's going to take you off the road. Leave lots of room for the car in front of you. If they hit something or slam on the brakes, you need lots of room to respond. I have been in many blizzarding situations where you cannot even see the car in front of you. If that's the case, the best thing to do is find a truck. Follow that truck. And the reason is the truck will create a tunnel through the snow and you'll be able to see the truck ahead of you and stay on the road. If it's blizzarding, the last thing you want to do is turn on your high beams. Keep them off. If you have fog lights, turn those on. They may help. Bright lights will basically turn the snow into this white blanket that will envelope the car and you won't be able to see where you're going. Use your gears to slow you down. If you're in manual or have paddle shifters, it makes it super easy. If you have just a run-of-the-mill automatic car with like second and first, slow down using that if you can. Use a combination of your gears as well as light brakes if you can do that. If you need to force your brakes on, definitely do that if you have to. Now there's tons of ways to have fun in the winter with these cars. And one of the ways is by snowboarding behind the car. So I'm just gonna connect a snow rope to the Mini and we're gonna take my cameraman Ben down the driveway and back and show you how much fun you can possibly have.
I don't know how I'm still alive right now, but still, I'm surprised.
Now we're gonna come to going uphill. So when it's flat, if you live in a flat area, you won't even have to worry about it. But if you live in an area with much hills, you might come to a spot where your car won't go up a hill. A couple things you can do this. Once again, put into green mode like we were talking about before. Second thing what you wanna do is, if you are going up the hill and the traction control is kicking in, it will cut power and your car will go slower and slower and slower. And eventually you won't be able to make it up the hill anymore. So what you can do is, most cars, if you hold the traction control button for 10 seconds, it will completely turn it off. And then with it off, feather the throttle ever so slightly and work your way up the hill. Don't hit it too hard, because else you're gonna spin and the car's just gonna stay in the same spot and dig a hole for yourself and you're gonna get really stuck. But on these roads, it's actually a lot of fun because you can use your handbrake to get around corners. And I really love winter driving. So a little bit of handbrake action around corners in a safe spot, and it transforms driving in the winter from being on high alert to being on high alert and having a ton of fun. But be very careful with traction control off. I would say as soon as you get to the top of the hill, turn it back on again. Now falling back into the more fun area. So for getting around corners, there's something called a pendulum turn, and they use this in winter driving. And basically what you would be doing is flicking the car through the turn. Make sure you have plenty of room and make sure you practice this somewhere where you're not going to end up in the ditch. But basically what you're going to do is turn the car in slightly, out, and then harder. And it will send the car sideways and through the turn in a more of a controlled way than pulling the handbrake. It's a lot of fun, and it's what they use when they're doing rally driving to get rally cars through the corners. You will have to have your traction control off for this, else the car will stay straight and you'll end up in a snowbank if you happen to try to get around a corner. Now with the front wheel drive car, the wheels on the front have the engine on top of it, so it will help you with traction. Not only is the engine putting more weight on the wheels, but also it's pulling the car as opposed to rear wheel drive where it's pushing the car. Okay, next we're going to take out my Porsche Cayman and we're going to show you why rear wheel drive is a little more sketchy on snowy roads, as well as what to do if you do have a rear wheel drive and how to drive safely with it. This car is better than some other rear-wheel drive cars where basically the engine's on the front and so you have nothing in the back of the car. For example, a rear-wheel drive pickup truck might be like that, and so you'll have farmers throwing hay bales in the back of their pickup truck in order to have enough weight on the back wheels to get up hills. So one of the big things about driving a rear-wheel drive car is acceleration. If you just try to gun it, it's not really going to go anywhere. It's gonna sound really cool, but you really ain't going anywhere. So because of that, be very careful in your throttle response, and as we said before, either put it into green mode or just really ease onto the accelerator. So with acceleration, you have to take it really slow and slowly go off the line. And if there's a stoplight or anything, just slowly speed up and you'll be fine. However, if you try to mash it, you probably won't go anywhere fast. So we, in the Mini front wheel drive, we took off traction control and we mashed it from 0 to 10 miles an hour. And it actually did pretty good. We're gonna do the same thing and we're gonna launch it in this car also from 0 to 10 miles an hour, and we'll try not to go in the ditch. All right, let's see how it goes. 1, 2, 3, go. 10. 10. Try to lift off the accelerator when you're going around corners, because if you have it on and you happen to hit ice, the rear is going to kick out and you're going to start getting into a little bit of a, drifting situation. If your car starts going wiggly all over the road, how do you stop it? What you want to do is steer into the slide. So say the car starts going this way, what you want to do is steer this direction, so the car will go back this way, and then you steer counterclock, then you steer back the other direction, the car will go back this way. You keep doing that on less and less increments until your car is going straight again. That holds true for really any car, not just rear-wheel drive cars. You want to turn into the slide and hopefully get yourself out of it. If you get to a hill in a rear-wheel drive car and you're not able to make it up, just like a front-wheel drive car does better by pulling you, you can actually turn your car around and try to go up the hill in reverse. Now, one of the fun things you can do on a rear-wheel drive car is something called power sliding. And basically, because you have the rear wheels turning, if you hit the gas, you will kick the end out, and you can use that to your advantage to have a little bit of fun. So you can do that pendulum turn to steer into a corner, hit the throttle, give it a little blip, and the back will come out, and then just feather that throttle as you go around the corner and do what we taught you about turning into the slide to get out of the drift. And because it's a rear-wheel drive car, this car, if you turn off traction control, will kick all over the place. I could easily do a little donut right in the middle of the road and possibly go in the ditch. Driving a rear-wheel drive car in the winter is so much fun. If you find an empty parking lot or a field with no one around, you can easily do donuts. You can learn how to slide and drift. However, it does come with its challenges, so make sure that you are prepared for ice, and you do have the proper tires, and you do have your safety kit in your car. All right, that has been our video. We hope you enjoyed. It's been a ton of fun taking these cars out on these roads. And we've hoped that we've not only showed you some of the safe things you can do on the roads, also showed you some of the unsafe, fun things you can do in a safe environment in the snow. Leave down below if you think we missed anything out, if you would have changed anything, as we'd love to hear from you. Most of all, we hope you all have an amazing rest of your day, and we'll see you in the next one.